It means we're going.
It means we're going. We're streaming. We're doing all kinds of good stuff.
Yes. You want to do this one in English or Spanish? Which one? Doesn't matter.
Vamos a hacerla. I don't know. Let's do this one in English. See what happens, and then
let's do it.
We'll pick up the rest of the pieces as we go along.
Let's do it. All right. So what's up, Instagram? What's up, StreamYard world, whatever that is, and anyone else that can see us. If you can hear us, that's great. If you can't, we're sorry in advance. We're not very techie people. So obviously, this is a dear friend of mine. I have a fly in my room, but this is a dear friend of mine, Rafael Cortez. We always do lives together, and we're back. We're back in full effect. This is my Mexican brother. Pretty much, that's what it is at this point in my life.
It's been hectic over the last several weeks, to say the least, moving offices and doing all kinds of stuff. So I know I missed a couple lives there. We're doing lives in Spanish and talking about real estate wholesaling. I mean, I've dropped the ball. Will has been on point. The guy is a freaking soldier. So, but yeah, so hopefully we can do a quick little live setting here and then add some value. We were talking about like what are some of the topics, some of the questions that we can tackle as we're going through this, and like we keep going back to one of the things that I think we haven't really talked too much about, which is the power of the mastermind, right? Like what is a mastermind? How do you level up? How do you get to do a ton of deals? I mean, right now, Will, dude, you're doing what at $1.2 million flip? Is that what it is?
So the purchase is $1,030,000. I'm gonna put 200 into it and flip it out for 1.9. So
heck yeah,
it's But let me be clear. So that one, I'm actually partnering with my mom. It's a partial wholesale and a partial partnership on the flip side. So she's actually, because if you know me, I'm not really a rehabber like that. I like to stay in my lane. It's such a good deal. It's in Boca Raton. It's an amazing area, and we're going to partner on it. She's going to do the rehab. That's definitely her area of expertise. And then we're going to flip it. Hopefully the deal between the assignment and the fix and flip, we're probably looking at a net $500K on that deal, give or take.
Dude, so you're going to sell it for what, 1.6?
1.9.
1.9. All right, so you're dropping a pretty penny into it.
Yeah, so we're buying at $1,030,000, and then we're putting about $250,000 into it, 200 to $250,000 depending. And then we're gonna sell for 1.9. Could be 2 million, but we're being conservative at 1.9.
Yeah, man. Like the thing is, you're partnering up. You're partnering up with your mom, right? Like again, the power of collaboration, the power of the mastermind. It's something that's always, dude. Like especially in I feel like we have this stigma against partnering up with people in the Hispanic culture, and we can do this all over again in Spanish, bro, on Thursday, because I think it's an important topic.
Yes,
but like you're partnering up with your mom. She's gonna run the project. You're still doing your thing. You're still going after wholesale deals and not really getting out of your lane. That's important, right?
That's very important for me, bro. It's very important for me. And just to kind of chime in on your point here, last week alone, my team locked up $300,000 in assignment fees. Okay,
wow,
in South Florida. So when you have a machine like that, I want to stay as dialed in and as focused in on that as possible. I'm not trying to take any attention or energy or bandwidth away from that baby, because clearly that baby is paying very, very well. And, we're scaling again. And my story, I've scaled up to 7 million a year, scaled back down. Now we're scaling back up, controlled this time, not scaling chaos, which is another topic in and of itself. But yeah, it's very important to stay. I'm 32 now, which is still relatively on the young side, but I definitely, bueno, entonces tú eres un anciano, pero like I stay dialed in, and I think that comes with age and experience, and I also think that comes from breaking your head up against the wall a number of times.
Yeah, so I don't know about you, man, but I feel like the biggest changes, the biggest like catalyst for change for me was thinking about how I can partner up with other people and do more things. I'm right in the middle of doing that right now, like through the partnerships that I have. And I mean, I don't think I've ever moved faster. I did have a bad experience years ago with my first partnership and whatnot, and that kind of, you know, forced me to stay away from even thinking or considering to like partner up and you know, and bring somebody else into the decision making process. But like, you know, we hear it all the time, right? If we want to go fast, yeah, we can go by ourselves. But if we want to go far, we're gonna need people. We're gonna need a team. There's gonna be, you know, it takes a village, right? They say it takes a village to raise, you know, children. It's the same thing for business, man. Whether you have the blessing of doing it internally with your friends and family, or you put yourselves intentionally in rooms that can make that happen, like masterminds. Heck, we met at a mastermind. This is, you know, a couple of years ago, and I mean, it honestly, bro, it's one of the most amazing, you know, friendships that I feel like I have in my life. It's
Thank you, bro.
On the personal side and on
Likewise.
the business side, we're always bouncing back, you know, ideas and I feel like learning from each other and supporting each other along the way, right? So we need that as entrepreneurs. We need that as you know, as we go through this process of you know, falling over and trying to get back up, and it can be lonely, right? But you have to squat up. You have to put yourself intentionally in rooms, in places, in conversations that are going to help you push the needle. That way you get to do deals like the one you're crushing right now. So
yeah, man, look, it's been a 6-year plus journey for me at this point, right? This is definitely not for anybody that's watching out there. I've been on social media for about a year now, not a long time. Was doing the business for 6 years before that. So for the record, you guys are seeing now, you know, what seems like me crushing it and my team crushing it, and, you know, $500,000 deal and a $50K deal and a $20K deal and a $100K deal and whatever it is, right? But it was 6 years to become an overnight success, so to speak. So you guys, yeah. I wasn't on social media in the journey, right? Like scaling up to that. I wasn't on social media because honestly, I didn't believe in it. I was so dialed in that I didn't believe, which was honestly looking back at it, I was like, wow, I wish I would have documented the journey because that would have been really fucking cool. The ups and the downs. But anyway, we're here now and, you know, we're crushing it. Definitely much more intentional on this time around. It's funny. When I started scaling back up the wholesale operation, is there a way to put the at Willie numbers thing like
in your name?
Really
yeah, just change your name. So make it part of your name. So my whole name is Rafael Cortez at Rafael Cortez.
Oh, I wish I could do that.
Don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I have to deal with when you know, I'm in a friendship with Willie numbers, but you know. Listen, if this guy can do it,
look, I got it, baby.
Bro, if this guy can do it, you can do it.
If I can do it, you guys should be multimillionaires super fast. But no, but seriously, man. So scaling back up this time around, this is my third go around scaling up the wholesale operation, right?
Yeah,
dude, I've been able to scale within the last 90 days. My team went from about 3 to 8. And we're super profitable. And my monthly burn rate is probably 35K. Nothing crazy. And I just told you we booked 300K of revenue last week alone. So lean and mean, bro. The last time I scaled backwards, right? I scaled 110K a month burn rate to you know, generate 500K months. But those bad months really chip away at you. And when a market shifts, you're in a not so pretty position like we experienced in 2022. You know, I went through that as well. But the mastermind is key, man. You and I met at a mastermind. This friendship would have not been possible if it wasn't for a mastermind, right? And right away, we obviously gravitated towards one another because we're both Latino, and we're like, hey, bro, you're doing it in Phoenix. I'm doing it in South Florida. You know, you're Mexican American. I'm Cuban American. You know, let's really, you know, let's connect. And that was awesome. You know. And that's the important part, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. So again, just just to make a point, right? Like it's important to, again, put yourself out there. A lot of times we have that self-doubt that kicks in. We're like, no, we don't have what it takes. We don't have the, this is not for me. These people can make it because they had opportunities. They had all kinds of stuff. The reality of the thing is that the tenacity and the consistency and then like staying in the track for long enough is going to give you that opportunity. That opportunity for growth is going to prep you to be ready for things when they come, right? Like I mean, if you would have gotten hit with this deal, the one that you're working on right now, and I'll use that as an example because it's the closest thing right now. But if you would have gotten that, I don't know, say 5 years ago, would you have been ready for it?
No shot. Even even me getting that deal 2 years ago, I wasn't. Well, no, 2 years ago I probably was, but yeah, no, for sure, no. The answer is no.
So I guess the big moral of the story is find groups, right? Find real estate investor associations, find mentorships, find people that you can talk to that are in the industry. They're in the playground per se, right? You're gonna align to them by leading with value. You're going to show up, and then if all you have to offer right now it's time and elbow grease, I mean, ask to door knock for some of these people to get on at least on the radar of some people that are important, right? Like that, and I mean important in the sense of your journey, the who do you want to learn from, who do you want to model after per se, right?
Yeah, look, I always say, hey, Chris Chico's on. What's up, Chico? What's going on, baby?
Chris Chico, nice.
Chris Chico, the bald wonder is what I call him. La maravilla calva. La maravilla calva. Pero, no, seriously, look, and hi, mom, te vi. ¿Cómo estás? Un beso. But I always say, find someone who is where you want to be, or who has what you have, or has what you want to have.
Yeah.
And try to follow their journey and try to link up with them and add value to that person, right? Lead with value with that person. Now I see it more than ever because I'm on social media, right? And that kind of stuff. And I'm sure you see it all the time. People see me at events, or people see me here, or they see me in a video, and then they meet me and they're like, oh man, you're that guy. You're Willie Number. Hey man, you're Rafael Cortez. Oh shit. You have the foundry and this and that, right? And they always want something from you. But I really do appreciate when people lead with value, and when they open up that conversation, open up that relationship as, hey, I know you're super busy, but here's an opportunity that I have for you to try to catch my attention. Because you're going to go much further than the guy that's walking up to me saying, hey, can I pick your brain?
Oh, dude, I was just gonna mention that. Like, don't. If you're trying to squat up, there's a specific way of doing it, right? Again, you need to lead with value. That's very important. Don't be the person that walks up to somebody who's super busy, has 1,001 things going on at all times, which is, I mean, we fall under that that bracket, and say, hey, can I buy you coffee? I want to pick your brain for 30 minutes, an hour. Like it doesn't work that way, right? Like there has to be. There's got to be a value add, and it doesn't mean that
falta respeto, actually.
It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that that the fact that people out there are willing to help, right? A lot of so this is what happens on behind the scenes, right? A lot of people come up and will say that, and this may be an unpopular opinion. I don't know. I'll probably get some heat for this, but a lot of people will come up and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna I want to sit down with you and whatever. We'll spend an hour of our time, 2 hours of our time. That time is taken away from business, taken away from deals, taken away from family, from friendships, from life, right? And I've done it, bro. I can't count how many times I've done it in the past, where I sit down with somebody in good faith and then just sit down, go through this entire model and whatever. Next thing they ride off into the sunset. Nothing happens. Crickets after that, and it's just 2 hours that are wasted, away into the ether. So it's not about being an ass, right? It's absolutely got nothing to do with that. It's about being effective and efficient with time. Lead with value. Bring some value to the table. I don't know. Go out there and door knock and look at some potential deals, or underwrite something. Offer your time and go work with somebody on the door knocking side, or I don't know. Yeah. Find a way to offer value that way and open it up that way, right? Like that's the way that you get into these tables. And if the seat is not open yet, I mean, make a fucking seat at the table. Make it your objective effective, right? To find a way to add value in a way that it's undeniable, and you can see, you can sit at the, at the table with whoever you're looking at partnering up with or JVing with.
I'll give you
squatting up. Yeah,
exactly. Rafael's dead on the money here. So I'll give you guys a really, really quick, good example, real world, how it happened for me when I was in that, in your position, let's say, to whoever's watching right now, okay? By the way, always remember this. Biggest lesson I can give on this live. Opportunities don't come to you when you're ready. Opportunities come to you whenever the fuck the opportunity decides to show up. You need to make yourself ready for the opportunity to step into it. Trains arrive all the time. People miss trains all the time, right? In real life, because they weren't there. The train's not going to wait for you. The train conductor keeps it moving. You got to catch the next train. Opportunities are literally the same. This is exactly what happened to me. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who Max Maxwell is, right? Big social influencer, huge in real estate. He's a dear friend of mine. Years ago, this is in late 2018, he had his first We Live event, if anyone remembers it, in North Carolina. Him and I were friends. He didn't have a big following. We were just friends. We would connect. We would share value, right? Whatever. He calls me up one day and he goes, hey, I'm doing a live event. There's going to be about 500 people in Charlotte, North Carolina. I want you to come speak at it. Be here November. I think it was November 11th or something like that of 2018. Keep in mind, I'm only a year and a half into the business, so I don't really have a lot to talk about, right? And I said, well, Max, what the fuck am I going to talk about? And he was like, I don't give a shit. Create a presentation. Get your ass here. It's going to give you exposure. Be ready. There's going to be some hitters.
The value.
And he's like, figure it out. And I said, well, okay. So I freaking created a presentation. I was in the middle of doing an owner finance deal for 16 units at the time, whatever. That was the best thing I could come up with. I was like, great, I'm getting up there. I put on a little suit, whatever. Dude, I get up there. I do the speech in front of 500 people for an hour. I was scared shitless, for the record. I didn't know I probably fumbled halfway throughout my speech, whatever. Long story short, we go to dinner that night. One of the speakers was a guy by the name of Scott Oots that some of you guys might know, out of California. Big operator. Even back then, I was doing about $400,000 a year in revenue. Scott was already in the $3 million range. So I looked at him. I was like, oh, shit. And he was the speaker right before me. Imagine. We go to dinner that night. We're having drinks, whatever. Scott and I end up sitting next to one another. And this is what reminded me, because you said make a seat at the table, right? Verbatim, no pun intended, I made a fucking seat at the table. I wanted to sit next to him, so I sit next to him. We start drinking. We're hanging out, having a good time. We get to know one another. At some point throughout the dinner, he looks at me and he goes, hey, did you say you're from Miami? And I said, yeah, I'm from Miami. And he goes, dude, so we have this mastermind that we actually just removed the guy from Miami, and we only allow non-competing markets in. I'm going to vote you into the mastermind because the guy from Miami is out. Keep in mind, he said mastermind. That shit went right over my head because I didn't even know what a mastermind was. But all I knew was that the right answer was, okay, what do you need from me? I didn't think about what I didn't have, how I wasn't supposed to be in that room, how Scott was 10 times bigger than me at the time. I didn't care. That led me to join the mastermind was called the Super Group. From that mastermind, I ended up making a number of friends, Joe Taylor, whatever. I mean, Don Costa, the list goes on and on. I was exposed to a bigger world of real estate. And from one day to the next, I was the little guy that didn't know what the fuck he was doing to, holy shit, now I have proximity to these hitters. And dude, my business took off in that next year because of having proximity to these guys. And the point that we're trying to get across here is the opportunity was definitely not at the right time for me. It stretched the fuck out of me to the point where I was even concerned about how am I going to get up there? I got to buy a flight. That's where my mindset was at back then. But that opportunity and showing up no matter what, imperfect action, as Tom Kroll likes to say, that was key. Yeah. And I did it, and it changed my life forever. And that's what we're trying to say to people watching this right now. Be ready.
Be ready, right? But taking the leap can be scary, man. I didn't know that story. I didn't know that's how you got into your first speaking engagement.
You don't know everything about me, see?
And thank God. So no, and I'm gonna give you I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give you some props too. You're really good at finding value on the fly. We were at a
Thank you.
mastermind 2 weeks ago, family mastermind, which is the one we're part of. Incredible, just an amazing group of people. I mean, there's so much, wealth and knowledge and it's a solid. I can't speak, more highly about that mastermind, right? So we're lucky to be part of that group of people. We had Kim Kiyosaki, Robert Kiyosaki's wife. She was talking on stage about this, the development of the board game and how cash flow, the board game, has impacted, a lot of lives and everything. And they're talking about the Hispanic market, Spanish market, right? Like, this. So Will gets up and then he asks a question about, where this is headed and starts to, and this is a lady on stage, right? Kim's on stage and he's, they're freaking out with the mic. But he drops, I mean, he really, like, bro, I commend you for that, man, because you really closed it. You brought it home. So
thank you.
So she had an issue, like when nobody knew that, Kim Kiyosaki would have an issue, right? But they haven't been able to break into the Hispanic market. They just haven't had that the ability to articulate that in a way that, the Hispanic culture just kind of, gets it and it becomes, because it's we have this us and them mentality. I mean, that's the reality of the thing, right? Yeah. So Will goes there. And then, he flat out tells her on the microphone in front of 350 people, "I'm your guy. Like, talk to me about the Hispanic market. I'm your guy. And, let's talk. We have to connect." This is Kim Kiyosaki, guys. Like, it's about, the opportunity is going to come, and it's going to come really, really fast sometimes. It may feel scary, and if you hesitate because you're scared, you're going to lose on opportunities like that, right? And again, it doesn't, I feel like bravery is one of those things that just, we kind of have to work at it. We have to surround ourselves with people braver than us, and like, it's just contagious at that point. You know what I mean? So I mean, that it's just part of the journey.
And for the record, but for the record, to finish off that story, I was standing up there. I put my hand up because I was on the first row. I was like, "Yep, I got a question." Full disclosure, I did not have a fucking question. I didn't know what I was going to ask. I just stood up and I was like, "I will figure it out." I've always been I'll jump off the cliff, I'll build the airplane on the way down kind of guy. So I did not have a question. Thankfully, the universe rewarded me and said, "Okay, so she got off on a tangent answering another question." And he gave me like 4 minutes of standing up, like with the mic in my hand. And I was thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And my girlfriend was sitting next to me, and Savannah was like, "What are you going to say?" And then it hit me. And I was like, "Oh, I got it." And I told Savannah, I was like, "Film this. This is going to be the next reel right here." And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Film this." And I tapped her on the thigh. And sure as shit, I asked the question. And her answer was literally, "You know what? Let's connect after, because we actually are looking for somebody to kind of, guide us in that." She goes, why don't you connect with me after? And I'm proud to say I have Kim Kiyosaki's personal cell phone, and we talk, and, we're working on it. But again, I didn't know that was going to happen, and you're never going to know what the result is. But if you don't shoot, you're definitely not going to make the shot. 100%.
Right? It's never
100%. Yeah. But thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was incredible, bro. The funny thing is, like, when I got my first opportunity to speak on stage was by Sean Terry, and it was very similar, bro. He still does the Flip to Freedom events. A lot of people have gone through those. I met Max Maxwell at the 2016 event. I was speaking on stage, and I talked to him afterwards for a while. And I mean, it's just incredible, right? Like, a lot of people have gone to these events, and like, it's just kind of eye-opening. It's Tuesday. The event is coming up on Friday. He walks up to me and he goes, "Oh, by the way, you're going to be on stage on Friday." I was like, nice. What? I'm a closer. I was acquisitions. I was doing acquisitions. I was the guy sitting down with, across the table with sellers and locking up deals, left and right and all that stuff, right? That was my jam. But I wasn't a speaker. I'd never, been on stage before that. And apparently he had some type of faith that he just, goes, you have it. Now, what I think made it for me was, I asked him, what am I going to, same question. What am I going to, what do you need me to talk about? He goes, that's up to you, whatever you want to talk about. I go and I brainstorm on all kinds of stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm going to break down my closing process down and how I get, deep discounts on deals and how I negotiate and all that stuff. Cause that's kind of it's my bread and butter. Right. Mm-hmm. So I go in there with my best weapons and then I put this whole thing together and it's elaborate. It looks really cool. And I'm very proud. And I'm going to show it to Sean on Thursday night so he can stamp it and approve it. It was like, Sean, let me know. This is what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. This is the thing. Okay. I'm like, and he didn't even want to take a look at it. It was like, I don't need to see it. Like, it's you. Like, go ahead, go for it. Dude, I was freaking out.
Of course.
Because I didn't have validation, right? At that point, I was going to go on stage without validation from, okay, this is right. This is not right. The people are going to be okay with this. And it was terrifying. Right. But again, it's about saying yes and then figuring it out. If you want to figure it out, while the opportunity is kind of idling there, it's not going to be there for long. I mean, they come and go. They come and go. Had I said, let me answer you or give you an answer by tomorrow, if I can do it on Friday, I'm like, bro, do you think they're going to, wait around? No. So, and we can take that across the board, right? We can take that into real estate investments. We can take that into personal growth. We can take that into, when we go to just meetups and events and whatnot. Are you the person who's sitting on the back of the room and then you're just kind of, looking at everybody but not really engaging in conversations? Like, no, that shit has to stop, because opportunity is not like that. Opportunity is proactive. Right.
Agreed. And here's the thing too. Kudos to you for that, because you told me that story and look. Here's the reality. Not a lot of people would have rose to the occasion for something like that. Right. And, to anyone watching this right now, if you don't show up when the opportunity presents itself, I guarantee you someone else is going to be ready to take your place. And it's going to be 100%. A sad day when 100%. You watch that person walk on up on that stage and your life might have been a totally different trajectory. And you said, fuck. Why? Because I was scared, because I didn't know what to say, because I didn't know. You figure it the fuck out. Even if you have to free ball it up there, it's more the intention behind it, just to say, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Like you, again, I was so scared my first mastermind meeting ever, because I was kind of shotgunned into that shit. I was cannonballed, if you will. I didn't really know what to say. I was like, hey, my name's Will. Da, da, da. I don't even remember what I said, but I must have said something. I was like, look, I'm nowhere near where you guys are, but I'm here to learn. I'm here to add as much value as I can. And I promise you, I'm going to be one of the hardest working people in this room. And that was it. And that was a multiple year relationship trajectory after that. And, Max and I are still great friends to this day. And again, it's now I'm on social media. Now it's funny, but I have students when they approach. I had a guy approach me a few months ago, and he led with value, dude. And he's like, look, dude, whatever it takes, if I have to wash your car, if I have to do this, I'll do it just to gain proximity to you. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. And I respected that kid for doing that, because I'm like, wow, you really have no ego. You have no pride. Yeah. You're just going. And you caught my attention. And now he's doing deals and we deal partner together. And again, now he's in my circle, right? He's in my inner circle now. And that's worth a lot to him, to me. It's great.
So here's also an important thing. Right now, he's in your proximity, but by default, he's close to everybody that you're close to. If he has an issue, he can go to Will, right? And then Will, what happens if you don't have the answer? You're going to reach out to your big network of all those masterminds, all those power players, all those big tables and everything, and then get an answer for that person. Like, find a seat at the table. Lead with value. Just sit down. Have a conversation with somebody who you feel can guide you. Right? Just kind of the road's already paved on practically everything that we try to shoot for. It really is. I mean, think about it, right? It's nonsense to try to reinvent the wheel when everything's out there, just because we don't want to reach out to people or squat up or feel like I don't know, cut the line, right? We do that when we go to Disney. We were looking at people like, I remember seeing the people that would always go to the front of the line because they had that fast pass thing.
Yeah.
They're bougie. And I hated them because I had to wait on the line for like 2 fucking hours. And now I'm like, I won't go to a theme park. I won't go to a theme park without getting like the fasting, right? Because it's the type of life that I want to live, right? So, I look at my surroundings, I look at the spaces that I want to be part of, and I mean, at this point, I just go for it. I don't even, like, if I fail, I don't even care. If I look like an idiot or ignorant or whatever, I don't even care. Why? Because I know that questions pave the or give me doors, that I can
Correct.
actually walk through. So.
Correct. And look, here's a spoiler alert for anyone watching right now. You think that you need to sound articulate. You think that you need to know what to say. You think that it all has to be perfectly planned out. And how many times have you heard this expression, Rafael? Freaking, oh, I need to get all my ducks in a row. While you're busy getting your ducks in a row, I'm fucking shooting. He's shooting. We're catching 10 ducks. It doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look great, but I'm going home with ducks. You're still fucking trying to line up your shot. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't matter. And the people that are at that perceived other level that you want to get to, take notice of that. I care more about the guy or girl that steps out of their comfort zone, and I can see at least they had the balls to try. I will take notice of that person.
1,000%.
I don't care what they said. I don't care that they sound new. I don't care what happened. I care more about the activity that they did, and I respect it. And now they're on my radar. That's the point.
Yeah.
And remember this. I'll say this straight up. You never, ever, ever know who's watching. There's a lot of time now, as I'm on the social world, there's been a lot of people that I've looked up to for a long time that now befriend me or whatever, the rooms that I've been in and all that stuff, that I'm like, damn, I didn't even know that they were watching me. I didn't even know it was happening, but it's always happening. And that's what I'm saying. So always put your best foot forward. And again, you can never go wrong by keeping humility by your side and by leading with value. You will never go
100%.
wrong with those two things. Never, ever, ever, ever. And it's only a matter of time. It might not happen today. It might not happen tomorrow, a year from now, whatever. But if you stick to those principles long enough, you will win, and you will win big. And once it compounds, I mean, you're off to the races.
100%. Good combo, man. I like that. This was a little bit different than what we normally do, but I like the format. I think it's doable.
I love it.
Awesome. What do you want to close off with?
Bro, let's line up another live for next week for sure, and we'll do a Spanish version of this for sure. But dude, just to close off, man, dude, look, just I've scaled up, down, sideways, all of it. So has Rafael. I'm really in a grateful place in my life right now. I'm in a very happy place in my life right now. I'm grateful. There's a lot of momentum around me. And I can't wait to continue to compound on that and give more value to the people, to, specifically the Latino population in South Florida specifically and nationwide. And I know that Rafael and I really line up on that. Y es una cosa que los dos lo dividimos y pensamos mucho en eso con mucho foco. And that's what we want to do. And that's what we want to continue to do. That would be my choice. Huevo, como dicen los mexicanos.
Huevo que sí. All right, fam. So hope you guys like the live. It's kind of like a tester for the lives on Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. So it's going everywhere. Do us a favor, right? If you're not following Will, or you're not following me yet, do so at Rafael Cortez CEO or Willie Numbers. And it's a two-way street, right? Like it's always a two-way street. So if there's something that you guys have questions on regarding wholesaling, regarding mindset, regarding entrepreneurship, or whatever, drop it on the comments on the next ones, and we look forward to keeping this rolling. All right.
I love it, man. Oye, como siempre, bro. Un abrazo. Te quiero.
Un abrazo, carnal.
Cuídate. Take care, guys. Have a great night. Be safe.
Thank you, fam.
I think we're live here. Right? Is that right?